So President Trump has been running around saying about Biden, and Pence has said this too. Other Republicans, I'm sure on Fox News, they're mentioning this nonstop. But they have this talking point that Joe Biden wants to raise taxes on working people. Joe Biden wants to raise taxes on, I believe the number was 82% of American families. That is hilariously made up. It's just totally made up. They come up with some cockamamie way where they think that's an interpretation of something. It's not true. It's not true. Well, now their theory has been further debunked, and it's been debunked by a conservative think tank, the American Enterprise Institute. So The Hill says, conservative think tank, Biden proposals would cut taxes for most in 2021. Cut taxes. So, let me give you the provisions of this, because I actually think this is really interesting. First of all, he's going to roll back Trump tax cuts for people making over $400,000. He's 1,000,000% correct on that. He wants to subject earnings over $400,000 to Social Security taxes, and he wants to raise the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%, and he wants to change how U.S. companies' foreign profits are taxed. Again, on all of those, I think he's right. I love the Social Security idea. Right now, there's a cap. It's like your first $120,000 a year, something like that. You pay Social Security tax, but above that line, you don't. So in other words, if there's a doctor making $120,000, he pays the same amount of money in Social Security tax as Mitt Romney, who made $30 million. And what Joe is saying is, actually, no, let's have Mitt Romney pay more by raising the cap. Love that idea. He wants to expand the earned income tax credit and reintroduce and expand a tax credit for first-time home buyers. His plan would increase revenue by $2.8 trillion. $2.8 trillion. Biden's proposal would increase taxes for households in the top 5% of income, but reduce taxes for those in other income groups. So in other words, 95% of the country gets a tax cut under Joe Biden. Only 5% gets a tax increase. Taxpayers in the top 1% of income would see their after-tax incomes reduced by 14.2%, while those in the bottom 10% of earners would see their after-tax incomes increase by 11.3%. So in other words, redistribute. Income for the top 1% down 14.2%. Income for the bottom the bottom 10% up 11.3%. Redistribution to the poor from the rich. Taxpayers in the top 1% of income. Oh, sorry, we already did that one. Top marginal rate goes to 39.6%. Right now, I think it's about 35. The top marginal rate is about 35. He wants to bring it basically to 40%, which is good. That's definitely a step in the right direction. Taxes, long-term capital gains, and qualified dividends. He wants to tax capital gains and dividends at the income tax rate of 39.6% on income above $1 million. That's another great idea. So right now, capital gains rate, I think, was about 15%. I don't know if Trump changed it, and capital gains, just so you know, is money that you earn through investing in the stock market. Money that you earn through investing in the stock market. So the capital gains rate was about 15%. What he's saying is, no, if you make over $1 million in the market, as a lot of like Wall Street guys do, for example, I'm going to tax that like it's regular income. So I'm going to tax that at 39.6% over $1 million. That's a great idea because you could be a teacher and work and make, let's say, 70 grand, okay? And you're probably paying 25% or 30% in taxes. Why should somebody pay a lower tax rate if they make all their money through not even working, just investing? Biden is saying, no, let's tax them as if it's income. So listen, fact of the matter is this tax plan is not bad. It's really not that bad. I think I would like it if it was more progressive. So in other words, even higher taxes on the wealthy, even higher taxes on corporations, add new brackets. But having said that, this is not a bad tax plan. If this was implemented as is, it would be a very good thing. But, of course, we have to end the segment with an asterisk here. And the asterisk is he going to do any of it? And honestly, I think the realist position is probably not. He's probably not going to waste political capital fiddling with the tax rates. I think he's much more likely to do other fights, to have other fights over other issues that he cares more about. I think ultimately, maybe he does something on taxes and gets like 10% of what he says he wants. So that's the thing that, I've heard people comment on his tax plan and say basically what I say, which is, hey, this is a good tax plan. I agree. The question is, will he actually do it? And honestly, my guess is probably not. No. So now you could do that information. You could do with that information whatever you want. So in other words, you could say, I don't care. At least nominally, he's for the right thing or for some of the right things. So I could definitely support that. I have no problem if that's your takeaway. And I have no problem if your takeaway is, yeah, this is just, he's pretending like he's got a good plan, but he's not going to do any of it. So what's the difference? I think that's a reasonable take too. I just wanted to give you what they say they're for, and who knows? Maybe there is a chance that, let's say he gets elected and he does take on the tax plan and he does it early on and maybe he wins on a lot of these things. Who knows? But yes, on paper, his tax plan is definitely not bad. Definitely a million times better than Trump's. It's just a matter of what will he actually fight for and what will he actually get.